Hey everyone, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into some incredibly insightful source material to tackle a truly universal struggle. If you're the kind of person who loves to learn, works hard, and stays laser focused all day, well, you've absolutely encountered this exact problem. You know the drill, right? You finish a grueling day, you are literally exhausted down to your bones, and you finally hit the pillow. You are so ready for some well-deserved rest. But then, boom. Instead of drifting off peacefully, your mind just springs into action. It starts racing, analyzing, and processing every little thing at lightning speed. It's wildly frustrating. But listen, you're not alone in this. We're going to unpack exactly why this happens and, more importantly, the specific mechanical steps you can take to finally reclaim your evenings. So I want you to really think about your own routine for a second. Why won't your brain just turn off at night? Have you ever found yourself lying there in the pitch black doing that desperate mental math? The whole, okay, if I fall asleep right this very second, I can still get exactly 4 hours and 12 minutes of sleep. It's the worst. You're so tired. Your body is begging for sleep, but your brain is completely hijacked. Well, the source material points us to a fascinating psychological quirk that explains this perfectly. It's called the Zeigarnik effect. Basically, this is the brain's natural tendency to intensely fixate on uncompleted tasks while easily forgetting the things we've already checked off our lists. Your mind literally won't let you rest because it is terrified, and I mean terrified, that you're going to forget the things you left undone. Recognizing this biological reality is the absolutely crucial first step toward fixing the disconnect. Because of that natural tendency to fixate, we really have to name our common enemy here, the nighttime overthinking trap. Oh man, once you fall into this thing, the anxiety just feeds on itself. You process the day you just had, you try to mentally organize the massive date you have tomorrow, and before long, you're literally overthinking the simple fact that you are overthinking, right? It becomes this exhausting, painful cycle that completely strips away any chance of genuine rest. We've all felt the heavy toll of that trap, basically ruining our next day before it even begins. But here's the good news. We don't have to stay stuck in this cycle of nighttime anxiety. There's a clear way out, and it starts with a deliberate shift in how we approach the final few hours of our day. And this brilliantly illustrates the massive difference between a default evening and a structured one. When we just let our evenings happen to us without a plan, our default nighttime brain takes over. And that default state? It's essentially your mind processing raw, unfiltered anxiety about every single thing you haven't finished. It's chaotic, it's noisy, and it's deeply draining. But the alternative is the ritual nighttime brain. When we apply a specific, intentional practice, the outcome completely flips from chaos to mental clarity. Clarity at night isn't some magical, elusive trait that only a lucky few possess. Actually, scratch that. It's not a trait at all. It's the direct, predictable result of moving away from our unstructured, default habits and actively telling our brains that it's finally safe to stop working. Okay, let's dive into this. The ultimate antidote to all this nighttime noise is the shutdown ritual. Now, this isn't just generic self-help advice to relax more or take a deep breath. No, it's a definitive mechanical practice designed specifically to stop overthinking at night. Think of a complex computer system. You wouldn't just rip the power cord out of the wall when you're done working, right? You initiate a proper shutdown sequence so the system can save its files, close its programs, and power off safely. Well, your brain requires the exact same level of respect. The shutdown ritual is your explicit command to close the open tabs of your day. By physically capturing your lingering tasks, you provide an undeniable signal to your nervous system that the work is officially over. The outcome we are cultivating here is a state of true mental clarity. Mastering this specific ritual is the essential bridge from nighttime chaos to deep, restful calm. This is all about the neurobiology of creating a clean slate. See, when you set a firm boundary to protect your evening peace, you aren't just crossing your fingers hoping for a quiet mind. You are actively taking control. In our hyper-connected, busy lives, mental clarity rarely happens by accident. It has to be engineered. By establishing this ritual, you're effectively clearing away the thick fog of overthinking before your head ever hits the pillow. It's about treating your evening rest with the exact same focus, dedication, and strict boundaries that you bring to your daily work. Let's move to and see how this builds throughout an ideal evening. Imagine your evening as a deliberate transition rather than a sudden cliff you just jump off. Let's say your workday formally ends at 6 p.m. Interestingly enough, the ritual might not start until 8 p.m. That 2-hour gap is incredibly important. It acts as a buffer zone. It allows the immediate intensity of the day to settle before you actively begin closing things out. By 9 p.m., because of that intentional ritual, the mental loops are securely closed, putting an active stop to the overthinking. This structured decompression is exactly what allows you to reach that final destination of pure mental clarity before bed. It's a logical, smooth pathway from the high demands of the day straight into the tranquility of the night. So, how do we actually put this into action? Here are the concrete mechanics of the ritual right out of the source methodology. Step 1. Capture open loops. You literally write down every single unfinished task, thought, or worry floating around in your head. Get it out of your brain and onto paper to completely neutralize that Zeigarnik effect. Step 2. Build tomorrow's plan. Look at your calendar and your new list and create a rough schedule for the next day. This proves to your brain that you have a strategy to handle the workload. Finally, step 3, speak the shutdown phrase. You say a specific phrase out loud, like shutdown complete. I know, it might feel a little silly at first, but speaking it out loud acts as a powerful auditory cue, a final physical boundary between your work life and your personal time. So, the crucial point is this profound realization from the text, your mind will not rest until it trusts that the unresolved work of the day is safely captured. I mean, wow, this is the cornerstone of everything we're talking about today. Overthinking at night isn't some flaw in your character. It's a feature of a brain that doesn't trust you to remember things tomorrow. You cannot effectively stop the nighttime anxiety just by willing it away. You have to earn your mind's trust by implementing a dedicated system that physically captures your obligations. This concept is your absolute blueprint for taking back your evenings and ensuring you get the high-quality rest required to function at your absolute best. We've covered the trap of the Zeigarnik effect, the importance of moving away from our default habits, and the exact actionable mechanics of closing out your day. Now the power is entirely in your hands. So I want to leave you with this final vital question. What will you do tonight to master your mental clarity? Don't let tonight be just another default evening of staring at the ceiling, calculating hours of sleep. You have the actionable framework, and you understand the neurobiology behind the ritual. It's time to implement it. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. Stay focused out there, and I genuinely wish you a very clear, very peaceful night.